Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to another Hearthstone recording session. And if you look at the clock, you will see that it is late, but it's not my fault this time, I swear it. Because this time it really was my internet going out for nearly 24 hours that has stopped me from playing. That and taking a nap because I had to wake up early to let the internet guy try and fix it. Straight up, all the internet was done. Anyways, I'll talk about broken internet later. We have 2 Druid and Rogue, 2 Mage and Shaman, 3 of any class. We don't have the Tavern Brawl, so we're just gonna play casual, I suppose. Start with this, hit it, go. Yes. So apparently where my house is situated, only 2 people get internet, at least from that company. Now, it's very feasible that everybody else has DSL and I have cable internet, which in 2016 is probably ridiculous. Because it's probably a lot more expensive for a lot less quality, I would guess.
You asked for it.
Although, when I looked at my bill to call customer service, I realized my internet bill was about 3 times as much as I thought it was. And I have the slow internet. I thought I was paying about $20 a month, nah, I'm paying like 80. Or somewhere between 60 and 80, it's ridiculously high. But then, in comparison, everything did completely shut down. In theory, I could have recorded, and I did record 1 video, but the internet went right out while 1 was uploading, which YouTube can figure out and continue uploading, even if it's been several hours. It takes it, I think, about 3 days or more before it actually gives up on a recording that is partially uploaded and says upload failed. Because I've certainly had some defective videos that failed to be processed. Just trying to get the totem guy, and I'm not getting him. Darn it. I could play this if I wanted to, but it's too early to play that. It's an interesting choice. So what was wrong with the internet is, like I said, only 2 people have that cable thing. It's at the end of the line, they said. So, apparently, the point where all the houses around me, like the 6 or 9 houses around me, in theory wouldn't have had internet, but the house next door to the house next door probably would have had internet still. And so they needed to fix what they called the tap, which, I don't know. Well, it's calling customer service too. They're trying to throw their jargon in there, and I'm like, yeah, I can tell you that the cable modem is a CSU DSU, and I can talk to you with all this network stuff, but guess what? I know you don't really know what you're talking about. So I'm just gonna say it's the blue blinky light is blinking, and the orange squiggly line is blinking, because that's what you're used to hearing, and that's gonna get a better result. And the first person I talked to was fine with that, and then the second person started trying to correct me, and I'm like, first of all, if I don't care what it's called or what you call it. I don't need to be corrected on this. You need to correct your service and get it working. Because you knew what I was talking about. And it's rather irritating. And then on top of it, I called for a technician to come over, and then in the next day, like several hours before the technician was supposed to show up, I get an automated call saying, "Oh, there was an outage here. Because there was an outage here, we canceled it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go check and see if it's working." Still not working. So you shouldn't have automatically canceled a meeting I had already set up. I know you're playing odds here. I know you think you can get away with just canceling all service calls in any area that has a thing, but it didn't work this time. Didn't work, and now it makes you look like a jerk. And I'm not sure if that wasn't just some lazy technician saying, "Yeah, there was an outage in this area, but we fixed it." Or if the situation was that they fixed it, and then in the process of fixing it, they broke my internet. Or they didn't fix it at all. It's kind of hard to tell. And really doesn't matter one bit to me. All I know is that I'm left here having lost probably 2 days of time in which I could have been working because the internet was down, thus I couldn't upload things. I recorded one thing with the internet down, but practically it's not a good system. It is not a good thing for the internet to be down because I can't look at Twitter. That means I can't see any responses or anything. If somebody's trying to talk to me or like my videos, I can't look at emails or anything else. I can't look at YouTube. So I'm totally disconnected from my fan base, as small as it may be. That's all out the window. I have nothing I can practically do in my house that's not internet related. The only thing I have that I can really do is watch DVDs or watch satellite TV. And I don't really want to watch satellite TV because there's nothing good on. I don't really want to watch DVDs. I'm constantly, as far as DVDs, in the wrong mood to watch them. I don't know what my problem is, but it is definitely something there because I just never feel like it. I never feel like I've done enough work. I never feel like I could relax enough to sit down and just watch a movie or a DVD. On a rare occasion, maybe I will. I did watch Clue recently, but in general, for the number of movies I have, I'm just not feeling it. Same with the comic books too. It's like I was reading the comic books kind of before I started recording, but now it's like, why in the world would I spend that time on that? So that kind of gets back to the stuff that I also thought. If I have a slow internet or no internet or bad internet and I'm trying to record in a dialysis thing, that's not going to really work. I don't want to play as the mage, so let's play as the rogue. Shaman and rogue today, I guess. It's not really going to work that well. And I certainly don't want to play Uno Nut Jack. It's just... I gotta fix that. I gotta just wrap that series up and just say, you know what? We'll come back to it. Because
Valir versus Anduin.
I can squeeze another game in that time slot. And it's not Uno Nut Jack has started to air, and it's not like it's some magical series that's caught anyone's attention. Nothing's really caught anyone's attention. Maybe that's because everybody's gone back to school. Everybody's gotten busy with the February Valentine's Day stuff. I don't know. In one surprise that really doesn't have anything to do with me, the Deadpool movie was an amazing success, which is not something I would have expected. Really, it's quite surprising to me. I would have thought that the Deadpool movie would have done okay at best and been quickly forgotten. But now that it is pretty much the biggest success ever, it seems like, I'm probably exaggerating here, but because of that, it's gonna be interesting if we get some more big title rated R movies, since that was an R-rated movie. It will be interesting if this is some trend where people start going to the movies a lot more. That could be it. That could certainly be the issue. Is that as other forms of media have gotten a little outdated, again, not that many people buy DVDs, not that many people are watching TV still. I'm watching some things on TV. I'm watching The Magicians, and I'm still kind of liking it as it's kind of this strange, older, I'd say it's an older age Harry Potter equivalent. But I think it's gonna go in a different direction somewhat. And so I find that an interesting thing. We don't really have enough magic shows in TV or movies, because quite often the magic is just like a ridiculous MacGuffin. Here we go. That's 5 done.
No quarter.
There we go. We'll win this almost certainly, unless he plays Reno Jackson and turns things around. We may only do one recording today. Because the internet was down, I didn't have the opportunity to curate these quests to try to get medals. So that's now. I'm watching the end of Lost Girl. That's an interesting series because it's like Continuum. They're like these Canadian TV shows, and there's something about either how they shoot, or maybe certain episodes are edited, or maybe certain or that something else is going on. But like Lost Girl in particular never managed to establish and stick to a characterization of any of its characters. The main character almost, but not quite even on that. So, like the latest recording I saw of it, like the second to last episode, they're like best friends with the Morgan, who they were mortal enemies with at the beginning of the series, and it's just this weird thing. There's no tight arc there. No, maybe they just don't care that much about it. And that's the same thing with Continuum too, is that one season was about one thing in Continuum, the next season was totally different about another thing. The changes just come back, and that may just be a mentality of the Canadian things. And I say Canadian, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're Canadian shows. And it's probably why we don't see more Canadian shows, I would guess, on American cable. we see a lot of American shows that are filmed in Canada, like Supernatural, but that's a big difference. Speaking of Supernatural, Sci-Fi is going to try a new series called Winona Earp, which is blatantly like the first couple seasons of Supernatural. It's got the gun. It's the gun that can kill demons, and this girl is gonna run around and be a Western demon hunter thing, which is about probably the only way you can do a Western these days. Nobody relates to Westerns, so we're not really gonna see a lot of them, or we're gonna see just Westerns with sentimentalities that are nothing close to old Westerns. So people will think they're doing it right, but they won't actually be doing it right. Let's see. Is this gonna work? Nope. It kinda worked. What else was am I watching? More of the presidential election process than I care to. I'm seeing more of that than I would really want. Any of it is too much by my measure. But I won't get into politics. I never could get into Supergirl, although I have a passing interest in it.
Your magic shall
I do want to see it succeed, it's just not a show for me. I'm watching Lucifer, which I heard about an interview where they fully admitted that they were having trouble with the name, and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have trouble with the name. You're gonna get a significant percentage of people that are gonna just refuse to even watch the show with a name like Lucifer. It seems like that series is going a little too fast, and it's only very, very loosely based off the little story arc in the Sandman comic book. And if it's more about the spin-off Lucifer comic books that they're covering some of that, well, I haven't read that.
Truth is my
I do notice that I'm pretty sure that in the Sandman series, Lucifer cut off his own wings, but in the TV show, in the latest episode, he said he had his assistant do it for him, which not really a big issue to change one little thing. But
Elements I like, totems I love.
But it was something I noticed as
We're using real swords.
being a little different. Alright, how do we want to do this? Kill this. Kill this. Attack. In the dirt. Let's get some more totems on the board here if I can. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is still worth watching, I would say.
Totally.
That guy. There we go. Something else. Agent Carter. I'm watching it. I don't know where it's going. Or anything. But I'm watching it. I think between Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's two agent shows that year round are gonna convince me to keep on watching. Here we go. See if this is enough. Yep, it is. Game over. Nice. Supernatural, of course, still watching this. The latest Supernatural I saw was like a side story of the side characters, which they do that too much. They seem like they're desperately trying to get some of those side characters to get their own shows, and it just doesn't seem like it. Like the CW is gonna buy that. I just don't think they are. And Felicia Day's dead, so and they haven't brought her back, surprisingly. So I don't think we're gonna see any more of Charlie as a character. Only one I'm gonna trade is that one. Alright, so he's the mage, he can do 1 damage. Play this guy, yeah.
I am ready.
Should I play this now? Because what's gonna happen is he's just gonna attack my guy, do 2 damage, and then let's see. Or attack my guy and do that. I'm just gonna play this guy and then return. As a decoy, so if this guy wants to attack this guy, fine, otherwise he can't use this to kill him. What cards are you looking for? I don't think we're anywhere close to the season end. I think we just kind of started the seasons again, so
Another night on the
super
prowl.
looking forward to any new series. Well, I guess some new series are coming out on Sci-Fi at least, but that doesn't really mean anything, does it?
Feed the fish like liver.
Darn it, I was hoping it would hit the other one. I think he has he can deal damage to a random enemy. I think that can bypass stealth.
I'll show
I think.
them all.
I don't know. He doesn't have enough mana to kill this guy, surprisingly. So we do this. Play this. Darn it.
Here we go.
What do we want to kill? This? There we go, that works.
Yo ho ho.
In the turn. Is there anything else on TV? I was watching for a short time what I suspect might be one of the developers of Titan Souls, play Titan Souls, and he wasn't doing any better than I've seen anybody else do it. Which both is satisfactory and unsatisfactory all at the same time, because that tells me the game's too hard, and you know, even on easy mode I still kind of have that itch to play it. No, and I probably should embrace whenever I have an itch to play a game and just really take it on. How do we want to do this? I can't play after you cast a spell. Let's see. We do this, and then this, and then we do this, and then we do this.
What you got there?
whatever.
we go.
Take 2 damage to kill that guy in the turn. Probably not the best play ever, but I think that will kind of work. Next turn I can play this and hopefully kill one of these.
I serve the Fire Lord.
So yeah, what else have I been doing? Not a lot. I finished Dead Island. I don't know if I talked about that. So now I'm just doing the DLC, and the DLC seems like it is going to be super short. So that's gonna be cool. They killed my guy. So I'll take this one out so he doesn't get any
Here
more
we
coin.
go.
Attack the face in the turn. So it's really weird to play the Rydo White DLC after having just seen the main story of the game and seeing how that he was the main bad guy and that he died at the end. So it's like, what's this DLC? What can it really be about? What can it really say? And I don't think it's gonna say anything. I think it's gonna be a very short, straight run in some twisty, curved lines from point A to B to C, like I said, and then that's gonna be it. In 1 hour, I was at 26% done with the main story. It seems like there's no stores available in the game at all. Let's see, do we want to play this? Or do we want to gain 1 attack to play this?
Yes, steady do.
Darn it.
Here we go.
Seems like what happens in the DLC for Rydo White is you just run into caches of tons of items and tons of weapons, but the only mod I've picked up is an electrified crowbar. So the first crowbar I had that was good, so like I had maybe picked up 1 other crowbar. The first one I had, by the time I hit the first workstation, I used the mod on that, electrified it. It seems like it's really powerful and has a major knockback. So like, I hit one of the early zombies I hit, just turned to dust completely. In 1 hit. And
Here we go.
Job done.
the most of the other zombies seem to be fine. The game seems to have no respawn points, but then very generous checkpoints, so every time you die, it's just load last save and go back to the previous checkpoints. It seems like it was potentially some levels that were taken out of the main game, and then with a new character on top of it, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna do anything. It doesn't feel like we're gonna, at the end of this DLC, be able to play the main game. That's the most irritating part about it. The way I would solve this problem, or if I was just gonna add a new character without doing anything else, would be to
Feed the fish like blubber.
Here we go.
am I gonna leave? I don't know. I think I may lose here. He's got 6 he can do, I have 7 health. Unless I have Reno Jackson, which I don't. If I could just have gone one more turn, played this. So if I had just had like a coin last turn, which was my intent, I could have played this, but then I would have needed another coin. So yeah, I'm dead. No reason why I wouldn't win. Puddles beats me. Yeah, if I was gonna do the red and white DLC, I'd just have him show up at the beginning of the game and that would be it. It's not that hard. Not hard at all. And he would just be a different character to play the main story. Or maybe I'd throw this DLC in front of it, and then when you're done with that, throw him into the main game. But that would be a little confusing, because that's certainly the confusion I'm having right now, if that is the case. Otherwise it just feels like they do something together. Feels like they were contractually obliged to do 3 DLCs, and one of those is a Ripper mod, which is literally one mod. But there's a lot more to complain about these days than just like a small DLC that only gives you one thing, because now we have $60, $100 DLC packs, $120 DLC packs for a $60 game, which is ridiculous. They're trying to break up the games and charge you more and more, and people should rightfully revolt against that. Even in like The Witcher 3, DLC doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's probably one of the best implementations of DLC we've seen lately. It's been, they gave out like every 2 weeks consistent patches of DLC that were really just patches because they were free. And then their first paid DLC thing was Heart of Stone, which is just more of the game, and frankly The Witcher 3 didn't need more of the game. If anything, you could make the argument that Witcher 3 has just enough or even a little too much in it. I think if you really struggled, you could probably find a couple of points where the game is, oh, this is gonna suck, is too long. The whole Skellig Islands, I believe, was it called Skellig Islands? I think it was. Yeah, that whole section was a little too long, and if they had taken out like all the diving stuff, that would have been a good edit. But one good turnaround for DLC is that it turns out The Walking Dead Michonne, I think it's Michonne. I always call it the wrong thing. Seems like that's a standalone thing. I just looked at it on Steam, and it doesn't seem like it requires The Walking Dead Season 2, which is good. That's nice. We may very well be done with The Walking Dead season as far as telling that story. I think you pretty much either have to continue with the girl in The Walking Dead seasons or not continue with the girl, which is two direct opposites there. But you can't have her there but not the character you're playing as, is what I'm saying. You either have to age her just a little bit and continue playing her story, or just have her out of the picture. I don't think her being aged a little bit but you're playing as a different character works. I don't think her being aged a lot and showing up as a non-playable character works. I don't think her being aged a lot and showing up as a playable character works. In fact, aging her a lot probably doesn't work at all, because then that immediately says the zombie apocalypse goes on for a very long time. At least in some small areas.
Fine, I'll heal.
And I don't know why you would call it Season 3 then, if you're going to, because they did that with the DLC, the 400 Days DLC is where we covered different stories of different characters, and that didn't really feel interesting. So if you are going to do a Season 3, you have to just age her a little bit and keep on going with that story. It just has to be as long as you can go with it, and until you get the sense that people aren't willing to buy any more Walking Dead stories, then you either save her or kill her off. And then the second season will kind of saved her depending on the ending you got. Doesn't mean anything. And they can do the Michonne stuff if they want as a side story. As long as it's separate, I have no problem with it. In fact, once all the seasons are done, that's just going to be on my list of things to get. We have the Minecraft story mode to get, since I think that's almost done.
You asked for
But
it. Watch
so get the Michonne stuff. I hope they can kind of improve on their engine a little bit, and it would be nice if they could improve on their writing a little bit, so that they have a consistent in-house writer doing the games instead of hiring out writers that are very varied. People gloss over it, but if you really think about it, if you really go back and watch the first season of The Walking Dead, there was 5 writers for each of those episodes, and each of those writers wrote the girl and all the other characters slightly different. I wish I remembered her name instead of just calling her the girl, but it's been a while. I don't know how I'm gonna release Dead Island, since I'm almost done with it. I need to, that's the thing I'm holding back on, is to see if I end up being capable of, yeah, this is gonna be a mistake, but it might be a good decoy. If you would use this 2 mana to kill this character, I could get a coin. Nope.
Blood and plunder. Job done.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna be like a 2-hour release or 1-hour release. I'm not sure if I shouldn't just schedule it right when You Don't Know Jack happens too. That might work. That might work really well. I could play 1 You Don't Know Jack and then say, here's this, and then be done with it.
Cha-ching!
Alright.
Trust the pirate's code.
Want a deal?
If I did release Dead Island, where You Don't Know Jack is, that could be the new Borderlands-esque time slot. That could make a little bit of sense. Going through all of Dead Island really gave me an idea of what it would be like to cover Borderlands. It's gonna be really long, like I kind of knew that already,
It's
and
a
it's
deal.
gonna be
Here we go.
slightly an interesting process. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do quests the way I was thinking, where I do one quest and then label everything correctly. Frankly, let's be honest, the labeling things correctly hasn't super helped yet. Nothing super helps on my channel. There's just too much of everything else on YouTube already.
Do you have the artifact?
Scurvy dog.
Do you have the artifact? Here we go.
So this will be interesting. This character doesn't really help him. But I'm not really ready to do Borderlands in that time slot. I really am not. Plus I wanted to move some stuff around and I don't know if I'm really gonna do that. I think there's some weirdness and all of that anyways.
Here we go.
I need to get back and do Lego Batman 2 at some point. But everything else pales in comparison to how short I am with the You Don't Know Jack. So if I just played some different game, some different style of game, that might be a nice change of pace for me. I've got a bunch of games I could cover. So, the Lunar New Year sale, nothing super interesting happened there.
Here we go.
When all is said and done, I think I spent about $10 on that sale. No real good deals, and just kind of, it's hard to get good deals. It's getting harder and harder since I have everything. One good deal that came out was for Valentine's Day, or a couple days after Valentine's Day. Steam had this Make War Not Love Bundle 3, so I assume they do it every year. And because of that, they gave away bundle number 1, which had Jet Set Radio and Sega Classics and what was it? Was it Gauntlet? Yeah, I think Gauntlet. I say was it Gauntlet and then look to my side like someone's sitting there gonna shake their head. There's nobody here. I'm just talking to myself. But yeah, I think it was Gauntlet, which I guess all those would be slightly interesting. It's 7, 10, 11.
Here we go.
I need to figure out a way to do 5 damage before he can do 14. And I'm not sure I'm gonna win on this. I think we're gonna go a second recording, surprisingly enough. See if I could get a deadly poison and that go to 3. That would kill almost all of them.
I usually work alone.
Has this one attacked yet? Because if it hasn't, I think they're like 1 away. Wow.
Well played.
Well,
I am Rafa, the supreme archaeologist.
if I could play these, this would be nice. darn it. Lost. And that's where we're gonna end, with the lost to lust. Well, this is a nice start, at least. We're not gonna probably be stuck in a losing streak here. All we need to do is get one more victory here, and then one more victory for the rogue, and one more victory for the shaman. And if we get really desperate, we can play the druid even. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.